let's talk about earnings then. You had Rallis India that actually came out with the numbers. Let's try and analyze what exactly transpired in the quarter gone by. We have Mr. Gyanendra Shukla, who's the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Rallis India, joining us this morning. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And let's particularly put the spotlight firstly on your Q4 numbers, because if you look at the numbers, they looked a tad bit weaker. Your volume and margin pressure, we actually saw that in the export market, and that looks to have actually impacted your Q4 performance. Given the fact that now we are seeing a lot of volatility globally, do you think that this sort of a pain will actually continue in Q1 of FY26? What's your take on that?
So obviously Q4 was not as expected. What we need to understand is our business is very seasonal in nature, and Q4 depends on certain crops and certain pests. Our interest primarily in Q4 lies in some of the pulses and crops like chili and some of the pests which comes in rice. I think rice pest pressure was low and chili pest pressure was also low. As a result, we had so that is on the domestic front, weaker quarter 4. On seed business, we were impacted by weak mustard season, which had just gone by. And on international business, obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty around the world. As a result, though volumes have started picking up, but prices continue to remain low.
Mr. Shukla, you did talk about pricing, but tell me, what about the demand trends, and especially when it comes to the domestic business? Are there signs of a demand or pricing pressure which could be bottoming out according to you?
So from a demand perspective, there are two important factors. One is commodity prices. Commodity prices are by and large positive. Another important factor for local demand is basically water availability. So generally groundwater availability is good, lake water is good, and rainfall is also forecasted to be good. So I do not expect demand pressure side, particularly from a domestic market.
Right. The other thing that I wanted to talk about also was, when it comes to the domestic business, you're aiming to improve your market share in this segment. Tell me, what are the levers in place, and where do you think your market share could actually be, say, 1 year down the line?
So, and I think we operate in multiple business segments. So let's take segment by segment. One segment which we have been talking about is soil and plant health segment. That is segment which has been growing high double digit, and we think we will continue to grow with that pace and create a significant opportunity for us. Another area, our seed business, which had shown weakness in the past because of various challenges. I think we have overcome challenges we had in the past. So seed business would continue to deliver now double digit growth from here on. Now the third segment is really crop protection segment. And in crop protection segment, our herbicide portfolio was generally weak, particularly on the non-selective herbicide segment. There we have added a product, and we are also looking at a product in the Rabi season herbicide portfolio, which primarily comprises of wheat, sugarcane, and various other crops grown in the Rabi season. I think combined with all of those, we should be able to grow faster than the industry. The other important thing is we have realized even in the segments we participate, last two quarters, we went through a very detailed study, and we have found within the segments we operate, there is opportunity to get the product in and start growing in those segments. So there's a product portfolio play across the categories we operate, should give us healthy growth as we move forward.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Shukla. This is Shrishti also joining in. Well, now let's talk about your overseas business, because what we understand is that because of volumes and the margin pressure, the overseas business did take a hit. But going ahead, what is the outlook? Are you hoping to see some bit of an improvement? And also, given so much of talks around the tariff war between US and China, do you believe that because of China plus one, your company is expected to benefit? Any inch up in the inquiries in the recent while?
So let's look at the long term. I think from what is happening, the conversation going around the world around traffic, long term, certainly it is going to help Indian businesses, because I personally believe significant amount of a supply chain focus will come to India. There will be countries who would like to diversify their supply chain. We should benefit from that. In short term, because things are so dynamic, it is very, very difficult to predict. Based on what we know, out of the 4 products we sell globally, one seems to be slightly positive, 2 are about neutral, and one we don't know yet. So I think because it's such a dynamic situation, it's very, very difficult to say what will happen in the short term. I think it's going to be neutral to positive when we have a long-term view.
Sir, I just wanted to get your view, especially when you talk about the Capex. Have you planned any major Capex in the year, for the new year, that is your FY26? If you could help us or share some details on that particular front. And also, if you could help us understand that if you have actually earmarked an amount for the Capex, you could help us understand from where the source of the fundings will be?
So first of all, let me clarify source of funding. So we have enough resources. So we don't have to borrow money. We don't have to raise extra capital. In fact, we have ended the year with a very strong positive cash flow. So money for us is not an issue. The two major capex we think we will do. One is really related to our commitment to sustainability. That's in the solar energy. That also has very high payback. So we would invest in the solar power capacity. On the top of that, we will continue to put some money in on the R&D side.
All right, but
There's no significant major capex planned as far as manufacturing is concerned.
all right, but Mr. Shukla, we understand that you have commercialized some of the new products as of now. If I name one, then that is Metalaxyl M, if I pronounced it correctly.
Yes.
Help us understand that how big is the market size for this one domestically as well as internationally, and how much revenue can this product drive you in?
So it's one of the old generic product. Metalaxyl M is a different isomer of old metalaxyl. Global market is quite big, and there's also a domestic market for this. It's just production has started. We believe at the peak it can easily give us revenue up to 100 to 250 crore rupees, incremental revenue.
All right, so that's a sizable amount. But on that note, thank you so much, sir, for joining us in ET Now and giving us or shedding some light on the quarter gone by and what actually impacted the numbers and the way forward for Rallis India. All the very best for the new financial year.
Thank you very much.